Her dedication and devotion as sovereign never wavered. Through times of change and progress, through times of joy and celebration.
Tension is rising in Buckingham Palace as King Charles's health continues to draw concern. But now, a new report has sparked what may be the most surprising royal rumor yet. Prince William is set to take the throne. For a while, many believed King Charles might consider stepping down. But what makes this more shocking is that Princess Anne has reportedly revealed the king's final wish, one that could shape the future of the royal family and the entire UK. But what exactly did Princess Anne say? And what does it truly mean, the monarchy? Join us as we uncover how Prince William takes the throne. King Charles's final wish. Prince William has started taking on more royal duties while King Charles receives treatment for cancer. Recently, William led the family at important events, hosted official ceremonies, and even stood in for the king at meetings. He isn't the king yet, but more people are noticing how he's stepping up as the royal family's main figure during this uncertain time. What made things even clearer was what Princess Anne said in an interview. According to Princess Anne, King Charles's main concern isn't himself, it's the future of the monarchy. His final wish, she said, is for everything to stay steady. King Charles has asked the royal family to support William moving forward. Many believe this request was made specifically to Princess Anne because she has always stood by the monarch in the past. So how exactly has she done this, and what does it mean for Prince William? Let's find out. For over 50 years, Princess Anne kept a pace few in the royal family could match. Since the early 1970s, she has been one of the busiest royals, often completing over 500 public events each year. In a family often questioned for its privileges, Anne stood out for how hard she worked. She gave strong support to Queen Elizabeth II and helped the Queen stay connected to people across the UK and the Commonwealth. This work ethic started young. In 1970, when she was just 19, Anne joined the Queen and Prince Philip on a long tour of Australia and New Zealand. It was her formal entry into royal duties. She wasn't just their daughter on that trip, she acted as a working royal. The exposure helped shape her future role early. That same year, she began working with Save the Children UK. Named president in 1970, she stayed in the role until 2017. For nearly 5 decades, she helped run humanitarian projects, giving the monarchy a stronger voice in the charity world. Queen Elizabeth saw this work as more than kindness, it was also diplomacy. Charity work gave the crown a softer image, and Anne's steady involvement helped give the royal family moral recognition in other countries. While her brothers made headlines for different reasons, Anne focused on her job. This pattern lasted for decades. She went where needed, represented the Queen without fuss, and stayed out of trouble that hurt the reputations of other royals. And when the Queen died in September 2022, she gave the same loyalty to King Charles III without hesitation. After the Queen's passing, Anne took on new roles that made her continued importance clear. On May 6, 2023, she was Gold Stick-in-Waiting at King Charles's coronation. The position, dating back to the 1400s, made her one of the king's personal guards during major events. Riding on horseback in front of 6,000 armed forces, her presence showed she was firmly in step with the new reign and still central to royal tradition. But that was just the beginning. What followed showed her true role in the new reign. The year before, this trust was made official. In November 2022, Parliament changed the rules to name Anne a Counselor of State. This role had usually gone to the monarch's spouse and the next 4 adult heirs, but her decades of service earned her the spot. As a Counselor of State, she can sign documents and attend meetings if the king is away. With some royals stepping back or facing health issues, Anne's role helped keep things running smoothly. By early 2024, her workload put her at the top of the family's engagement numbers again. From January to April, she completed 172 public duties, more than 31% of everything done by the entire royal family in that time. While King Charles reduced appearances for cancer treatment and Princess Catherine stepped away, Anne increased her efforts. She filled in at events and visits, especially in areas that hadn't seen royals in a while. Her work wasn't limited to the UK. In February 2024, she traveled to Sri Lanka for a 3-day visit marking its 75 years of independence.
Actually, the fertilizing as well. Thank you, dear.
The trip showed that Britain still cared about its former colonies and wanted to keep ties strong. While the King stayed in the UK, Anne met political leaders and attended national events. Her presence only sent a message that the UK still valued its place in the Commonwealth. Her focus on remembrance stayed strong, too. In May 2024, she visited Guernsey and Sark for the 80th anniversary of their liberation from German occupation in World War II. Her presence showed the monarchy still played a role in honoring the past. Her support for the military also stayed firm. She holds honorary roles in many branches, like Colonel of the Blues and Royals, and Colonel-in-Chief of several Commonwealth regiments. These aren't just titles. She regularly visits military bases, joins regimental ceremonies, and meets with soldiers and veterans. Her work strengthens the royal link with the armed forces and keeps their trust in the monarchy, and also focused on people often left out. In 1991, she started the Princess Royal Trust for Carers, helping unpaid caregivers in the UK. The group gave practical help, pushed for public support, and raised awareness. At a time when caregivers got little attention, Anne's work made a difference. Even after the group became Carers Trust in 2012, she stayed involved and kept the issue in the spotlight. Her Olympic connection added another side to her image. In 1976, she became the first British royal to compete in the Olympic Games, riding in the equestrian event in Montreal. Her role wasn't symbolic. It took real effort. Her daughter Zara later followed her, keeping the family tied to Olympic sports. Anne has also spoken in support of a smaller royal family. She warned against cutting too many working royals, noting how much public work still needs to be done. She agreed with King Charles's goal to simplify the monarchy, but said there must be enough people to keep up with duties across the country. Saving money matters, but so does being present. This issue became more serious when other royals stepped back. Anne stepped in, especially after Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left in 2020 and during the Queen's final years. Her influence also extended to younger royals. Inside the family, Anne is seen as a mentor, especially to Prince William. She's passed on her understanding of how royal life works and how to earn public trust. Polls in 2023 and 2024 consistently ranked Anne among the most trusted royals. Her image, serious, private, and hardworking, connected with a public that had grown tired of royal drama and media spectacle. While others made news for personal reasons, Anne focused on the job, and that earned her long-lasting respect.
And I don't think anybody does that anymore, and I was thinking, might be a good idea if we started doing that again.
As King Charles continues his reign, the monarchy is changing, but through it all, Anne has stayed constant. She once supported her mother and now stands firmly beside her brother. However, even with her support, many are still curious as to whether Prince William is truly ready to be king, despite the early signs. Stay tuned, because what we're about to reveal might just surprise you. Prince William's kingship. Prince William's journey toward kingship began from the moment he was born on June 21, 1982, at St. Mary's Hospital in London. As the first child of Prince Charles and Princess Diana, he was immediately second in line to the British throne. From his earliest days, William was thrust into the public eye, appearing in official portraits and attending state functions alongside his parents. Princess Diana, determined to provide her son with a more grounded upbringing than previous royals, often took him on public outings and visits to shelters, aiming to expose him to life beyond the palace walls. Tragedy struck in 1997 when Princess Diana died in a car crash in Paris. William was just 15 when he walked behind his mother's coffin during her funeral on September 6th. He was joined by Prince Harry, Prince Charles, and Prince Philip. The sight of the two young boys, staying strong but clearly heartbroken, touched people all over the world. This moment marked William's emotional depth. Following this, William continued his education at Eton College, breaking royal tradition by not attending Gordonstoun like his father and grandfather. At Eton, he studied geography, biology, and art history, and balanced academics with sports like rowing and water polo. After a gap year that included military training in Belize and humanitarian work in Chile, he enrolled at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland in 2001. There, he lived in a shared student flat, studied geography, and experienced a relatively normal university life. After university, William pursued a military career, enrolling at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst in January 2006. Commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Blues and Royals, he trained as a helicopter pilot in the Royal Air Force's Search and Rescue Force. Earning his wings in 2008, he was based at RAF Valley in Anglesey, Wales. From 2009 to 2013, co-piloting Sea King helicopters on over 150 rescue missions. In contrast to his brother Prince Harry, who stepped back from royal duties in 2020, William remained committed to his role within the monarchy. When he married Catherine Middleton on April 29, 2011 at Westminster Abbey, it marked the start of a change in his life. While Harry pursued independence, William took on more responsibilities within the royal family, becoming a stabilizing force that demanded consistency more than charisma. William and Kate seemed like a peaceful, normal family. When Prince George was born in 2013, followed by Princess Charlotte in 2015 and Prince Louis in 2018, they shared the news with the public in a careful and planned way. Their family life was deliberately protected from the press, yet selectively shared to maintain public interest. Living first in Anglesey and later in Norfolk, they allowed their children to grow up away from London's glare, carving out an image of modern royalty that balanced tradition with relatability. But that's not all. Kate's presence in public has played a big role in how people see the royal family. Since she wasn't born into royalty, many find her easier to relate to. After Queen Elizabeth died in 2022, Kate became the Princess of Wales, and many people praised her for how she handled the change. She often joins Prince William on trips, takes part in events, and supports causes like early childhood development and mental health. Her steady support has helped make William look more reliable too, and together they come across as a strong and united team. In 2016, William, Harry, and Kate launched Heads Together, aiming to end the stigma around mental illness and encourage open conversations. William spoke candidly about his own emotional challenges, especially following his mother's death and during his time as a pilot. These admissions were striking, given the royal family's historical aversion to public vulnerability, and connected with people across class and age groups. William's commitment to larger, long-term causes became more visible in 2020 with the launch of the Earthshot Prize. The Earthshot Prize was created to encourage new ideas that help the environment. Each year it gives 5 prizes of £1 million to people or groups with real solutions to fight climate change. It's supported by experts from around the world and is set up like the Nobel Prize. This project showed that Prince William wants to be more than just a future king. He also wants to be a world leader in protecting the planet and making real change. Prince William's quiet leadership helped him gain more public support. In a YouGov poll from March 2023, 74% of people said they had a good opinion of him. That made him the most popular royal, even more than King Charles. People said they liked William because he seemed humble, worked hard, and behaved well in public. He earned their trust over time by staying calm and focused. He also showed maturity during tough times. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle spoke out in their 2021 interview with Oprah, claiming there was racism and tension in the royal family, William didn't argue in public. He simply told a reporter that they are very much not a racist family, and chose not to say more. Many saw this as a wise, calm way to respond. As King Charles's health became a concern in early 2023, Prince William's role started to grow. He was seen more often at official events, giving out honors, and representing the royal family at events abroad. When King Charles had treatment for a non-serious condition in February 2023, William quickly stepped in. He attended important meetings and charity visits, showing that he could take on more duties without any trouble. William's link to Princess Diana is still clear through all of this. When he visits children in hospitals or helps homeless people, many remember his mother. In 2005, he became a patron of Centrepoint, a charity Diana supported. In 2009, he even spent a night on the streets in London to better understand what homeless people go through. Even the way William uses social media shows he understands today's world. He and Kate share short videos, family photos, and clips of their charity work on Instagram. The posts feel friendly, but still respectful, giving people a look into their lives without losing the royal image. Over time, William's actions have helped shape a new kind of royal figure. Unlike past heirs, he hasn't tried to change the monarchy all at once. Instead, he's slowly shown himself to be a steady and modern leader. Writers like Simon Jenkins and historian Robert Lacey believe William could be the right person to help the monarchy move forward while still keeping its traditions. But with King Charles's health in the spotlight, some have begun to question whether he can continue handling royal duties fully, or if it might be time to pass the baton to Prince William. Could a transition really happen while the king is still alive? It's a growing conversation and one that's raising eyebrows across the country. Let's take a closer look at whether Prince William could actually become king while his father is still on the throne. Stay tuned. When will Prince William succeed King Charles? In January 2024, King Charles was admitted in London Hospital in London to treat an enlarged prostate. Doctors said the procedure was common for men his age, and he was expected to recover fully. But during the treatment, they found something else that raised concern. More tests were done, and not long after, doctors told him he had cancer. On February 5, 2024, Buckingham Palace announced the news to the public. However, they did not disclose what kind of cancer it was, only that it was not prostate cancer. Soon after the announcement, the palace confirmed that King Charles had already started weekly treatment. These treatments began early in 2024 and have continued since then. Even with the diagnosis, the king stayed active in his royal duties. In May 2025, he took a short trip to Canada. The visit lasted only 20 hours, but during that time, he gave a speech to Canada's Parliament and met with leaders. The short visit showed that he was still working, but it also made people ask new questions about his health. The short time he spent in Canada stood out to many. Normally, a monarch's state visit includes many days of events and meetings. This one, however, was quick and limited. Some people believe the trip was kept short because of the king's health. Palace officials said the king was still in good spirits, but the carefully planned schedule made people wonder if his condition was getting worse. At the same time, there were growing concerns about Queen Camilla's health. In November 2024, she was diagnosed with pneumonia. Because of this, she had to cut back on her royal work. Although she recovered from the infection, she was left with strong tiredness that lasted for months. This post-viral fatigue affected her ability to take part in official events. Her illness led to her missing major events. During the December 2024 state visit from the Emir of Qatar, she had planned to attend many meetings and dinners, but doctors told her to rest, and she had to cancel. The king and queen's reduced public roles caused concern and made people ask how long they could continue doing their jobs. As these health problems became clearer, some began to ask what would happen to the monarchy in the future. There was no official sign that King Charles planned to step down, but people still wondered. Some historians and reporters started talking about possible changes in the royal line. The thought of both the king and queen facing health struggles made this more serious. During this period, Prince William began doing more royal work. In both 2024 and 2025, he showed up at more public events, met with world leaders, and supported his father at important moments. For many, this looked like preparation for what might come next. But will King Charles actually step down? Keep watching to explore how likely that is. Well, this quiet shift reminded people of the only major abdication in British history. In 1936, King Edward VIII stepped down so he could marry Wallis Simpson, an American woman who had been divorced. That decision caused a crisis in the country. Even though King Charles's situation was different, the idea of a monarch stepping down still brought up old memories. In other countries, abdication has happened for health reasons. For example, John II Casimir Vasa of Poland gave up the throne in 1668 after years of health problems and political trouble. In more recent times, King Juan Carlos of Spain left the throne in 2014, saying it was time for the next generation to lead. These stories have been mentioned often as people wonder if something similar might happen in the United Kingdom. However, Buckingham Palace has not said anything to suggest that King Charles is thinking about stepping down. Officials say he is still committed to his role. Even with cancer treatment, he is staying involved in daily tasks like reading government papers and holding private meetings. Experts say the king feels it is his duty to serve for life, and that giving up the role would only happen if things became much worse. Most people in the UK have shown support for King Charles. They respect that he is still doing his job while being treated for cancer. His visit to Canada, even though it was short, was seen as proof that he wants to keep working. Still, people know that battling cancer at his age is serious, and the future is uncertain. If King Charles ever could not do his job, Prince William would take his place. Many believe he is already preparing for that day. His calm manner and clear presence at big events have made people think he is ready. There is no known plan or date for a handover, but the line of succession is already decided by law. If the king ever chose to step down, the process would not be simple. It would require new laws and approval from Parliament. The same would be needed in other countries where the king is still head of state. The last time this happened, in 1936, it took quick legal changes and careful planning. A similar move today would need the same kind of coordination. Because of all this, the royal family seems to be getting ready for anything. Prince William and Princess Kate have been doing more public work. They have met with more leaders and taken on roles that prepare them for the future. It looks like the royal family has a plan to keep things stable even if changes come. The media has followed the king's condition closely. Many stories have suggested he might step down soon, but the palace continues to deny this. They say he is focused on his role and not making plans to leave the throne. Official messages have asked the public and the press to avoid guessing too much about the king's health. Even with these rumors, the royal household is still working. Key events, like the opening of Parliament, are still happening. The team around the king is making sure everything goes on as planned, even if the pace has slowed. Through it all, the royal family has focused on staying strong. The king and queen are managing their health as best they can, and Prince William is stepping in where needed. Nothing has stopped, and the monarchy continues to work. There is no sign yet that the king will step down, but the people closest to him are getting ready, just in case. Do you think he will make a good king, as many have speculated? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it.